Hello folks and welcome to Dandelions Modded Minecraft Let's Play, Episode 7. If you recall last time I made my first trip to the Nether and collected a bunch of stuff. I automated this here sugarcane farm, and spent a little while discussing what my next plans were. So, in just a little while, you're going to get a bit of a slideshow of the construction of my house, but I want to show you the house that I have built. I'm pretty proud of it. So, first of all, I got tired of living in this hole in the ground, especially because spiders would collect up here on the roof and jump on my head every time I came out, and that's a little frustrating. So, built a new house. So, let me show you around some of the features of it. First, I used my local cherry wood to make stairs around the outside. I found that the climbing up to it was necessary, and I wanted it to be a little taller than the area around it. At each of the four corners, I've hidden a Buildcraft place mark under the stairs at each corner. This allows me, if I'm down underground, to be sure that anything that I've built lines up with the house. I've surrounded the entire house with large glowstone bricks. This took quite a lot of glowstone from the Nether, but it means that the entire outside of my house is well lit up. If I hit F7, you can see that out to there are no monsters that can even spawn. That's really nice. I like that. Next, at each corner, I use some glowstone glass. This is glass, but it glows. The actual reason for that has to do with lighting the inside of the house, not the outside, but I thought it looked pretty, so I put it here. The rest of this is thickened glass, which is relatively hardened. It should be capable of taking relatively heavy beatings. I used border stone in its alternate configuration, both above and below. Here, I used shrouded silent obsidian pressure plates. To do this, let me actually show you the recipe. Shrouded. There we go. So the recipe for shrouded silent pressure plates starts with a silent pressure plate, which is your normal obsidian pressure plate above a block of wool. And then surrounded by glowstone dust and nether quartz. The advantage to this is they're almost invisible, and they make no sound when you step on them. Only the door does. So I've got double doors here, here, and straight across. This is because the house, when I built it, despite my best efforts, is not exactly square. So on these sides, I have one door. On those sides, I have two. Now, I've used the same glowstone glass up here. That helps me light up my neighborhood along with here. And in the middle, just regular thickened glass. I think it looks very pretty. I also like the way that this notches out and fits doors very well. It looks really good. I used some fitted sandy stone stairs down here and up on the roof. I can't quite get there right now so that you can see it. I'll take a risk and step over here during the night. As you can see, I used them up at the edge of the roof to give the roof a little bit more of a pretty edge. Now, the floor in here is all brownstone road. This is a surface that you can travel very quickly on. It is, after all, intended to be a road. I also think it looks really good in comparison with all the rest of the colors that I used. I used the same brick that I made these stairs out of to build this center column. My intent is that this area out here will remain a showplace. This will remain pretty. I will put decorative objects out here. I will put armor stands. I will probably place things like access to computer terminals here in the wall. I may place machines along this edge, but I will not be running any wires or conduit. I will not be running any energy ducts, anything else in this space. I don't want this to be an engineering space. I want this to be a living space. In here, on the other hand, I intend to run all the conduits that come up, all the things that need to connect, all of my basic everyday access machinery I intend to place in here. Now, I also made a new block. It's called an elevator. I actually have one in my inventory. The recipe for it is a single ender pearl surrounded by wool. To me, that's extraordinarily cheap. And what it does is this. When I stand on it and jump, it teleports me straight up to the next elevator above. There has to be an open shaft between them, but that allows me to get to my upper story, which I intend to make into my bedroom. This also allows me to see a relatively large distance out into the world. It's glowed and lit. I'm seriously considering building something up here, perhaps obsidian and lava related. I'm unsure. I think there should be some decoration up on the roof, though it's kind of nice having it open right now. Again, I used glowstone glass and thickened glass for the ceiling for lighting purposes. If I go down, again, here I use the large glowstone bricks, the same ones that I used outside. This allows me to light this entire room, and it's something that I can relatively easily slice a pickaxe through and then replace. Now, I'm going to show you the parts of this area that aren't completely finished yet, but they're worth knowing. I cut all the way down to bedrock along this path. If I hit down once, this is... We started at level 66, if you look in the upper right-hand corner under my map. Here's 53. I intend this to be my engineering basement. I intend a very large ceiling. I'm probably going to use similar glowstone bricks for the floor. This is where I'm going to build my machinery, my sorting tools, my power generation equipment, that sort of thing. Next, down at 41, I built a sub-basement just in case, for one reason or another, I need to fit something underneath those items, anything tall, anything outrageous. Perhaps this will turn into a tree farm. I'm unsure. Down here, level 30. We went from 41 to 31. We're down 10 blocks. This level I intend to use for all of my farming, for wheat and potatoes, for cotton to make string and wool out of, for rubber, possibly even for bee work. I'm unsure, but again, I feel like this is a really good neighborhood for me to work in for farming purposes. Down 10 more blocks at level 20. This is where general mining will occur. This will be mining for anything except, I won't get redstone much here. I won't get gold as much here. I won't get any diamonds in this neighborhood. But I also won't have the risk of running into lava, which makes this a relatively easy and low impact neighborhood to do mining. 10 more down. Again, you go down by hitting shift, you go up by hitting space when you're standing on elevators. I've made a stack of elevators all above each other to make this easy on me. Level 10. This is where I will do my mining for diamonds, for redstone, for anything particularly dangerous. This is, again, at this level, I will run into lava lakes. I will run into other scary and dangerous things, but I will get the ores that I need. And finally, since I was already in the process, I cut all the way down to bedrock and placed myself one more elevator on bedrock. And when I got here, I found one dark iron ore in that spot right there, and I took it. This is more for completion's sake than anything else. I rarely do mining directly at bedrock, but it's nice to know that I have it available if I need it. Anything that I wish to do down at the bedrock level, here I am. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm back in my house. Simple as hitting the jump button 6 times in a row, and I'm back home and safe. And I know mobs can't come up through this. Only I can. This is safety. Even if something gets lit poorly, I can still get back to my house and back very safely. So, this is the house that I've built. I love it. I think it's beautiful. I love the fact that all of my doors open almost seemingly by themselves just as I approach them. I like the fact that everything is well lit. I like the fact that I can see the entire outside world while I'm standing here. I know that if monsters spawn, I can watch them and know that I'm not safe when I leave my house. That Enderman right there, he doesn't know I'm here. Oh, maybe he does. Nope, see, he is unaware of my presence. So is that spider over there. They're just tooling around outside the house. There's a creeper. See, spider may even climb up on top of my house, but you know what? I'll know he's there. Why? Because I got a transparent roof. I can see him. There are my mobs, there are my monsters. This is my safety and my new castle. Now, I'm going to go through a slideshow where I show you all the various steps of the construction process and all the various things that I did. You should know Um, uh, Unfortunately, I'm right now away from where my bed is because I've not yet even moved my bed into my house. I was so excited to show you all. Let me, I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to transform into bat form, and I'm going to run back over there in an attempt to get to bed so that I can sleep, so that I can show you some of the things that I did in the process of building this house. First, that I can't quite show you, but I can tell you about, I mined hundreds of chunks around here, just digging for clay, because clay is a necessary component of the sandstone that I used. I had to cook it into bricks, and then combine those bricks with sand to make the sandstone that I needed for all of that pretty brown brick that I produced. To me, it was worth it, of course, but it was quite a lot of work and a lot of time flying around just trying to find interesting locations. Other than that, here, this is a place where my place mark lasers are extending out through the world. And quite frankly, they're a little disruptive to me. I really wish I could figure out how to block these from traveling up while they continue to travel down. That would make me happy, so that I only saw them below the ground. But at the moment, this is what I have. I don't have a lot of options. Over here, I've had to disguise it as well. Over here as well. I feel like these cobblestone chunks are just a little bit less annoying than a strange blue alien laser passing through and just stopping in the middle of nowhere. Perhaps one of you will come up with an idea, or one of my roommates, perhaps GingerLion, will give me some ideas regarding how I should hide these that I haven't, or some other good way of marking out these corners. I guess theoretically I could just dig straight down to bedrock at these locations, but that's always risky and scary. I did it once for my central elevator shaft, but I have expensive, hard-to-make equipment that I don't want to lose. This area over here, this used to be a nice pretty desert. I was so intent on coming over here and clearing it out that I left quartz on the surface, that I left coal on the surface, that I left, I think there's even, I remember some copper over here. Just left it. I was too busy filling my inventory with sand just to make up the various things that I need. Glass requires a lot of sand. Hardening glass takes even more sand. In fact, let me show you the recipes very quickly so that you understand what I'm talking about. Let's look at hardened glass. Okay, so, no, that's not hardened glass. I want thickened glass. My mistake. I considered hardened glass, but it's much harder to make, and though it's more blast proof should something explode near it, which is a potential risk with my house, it at least is, it unfortunately isn't quite as pretty. So, let's look at thickened glass. To make thickened glass, let me hit R over it, you have to smelt sandy glass. Which, what is sandy glass? Well, sandy glass is 2 glass panes and 2 sand, but you'll note, for those 4, effectively, you smelt 1 block of sand to make a block of glass. So this is 4 blocks of sand in various configurations to make a single block of sandy glass, and then to make the glow glass, I have to take the sandy glass, nope, that's not it, and put 4 glowstone around it. That's not cheap. That took a lot of expensive materials. Now, the fitted sandy stone stairs. Let me just do sandy stone. Sandy stone, in its raw form, not even listed here. This is the fitted sandy stone that I used in the center. Well, let's just start at the stairs. Here are the stairs. 6 blocks of sandy stone for 4 of these stairs. How do I make these? I make them by putting sandy blocks in the inventory. How do I make those? 2 bricks and 2 sand per block. So, as you can see, there's quite a lot of sand and quite a lot of clay that went into the decorative touches here on this building. These border stone alternates, just a moment. these were not anywhere near as expensive. I could have built the entire house out of them. It would have been cheap and easy, but it wouldn't have been as pretty. And quite frankly, if you're going to live in a domicile in Minecraft and put a lot of work into building one, I feel like it's worth putting in the effort to make something that every time you look at it, you feel like it's pretty. So, let me show you. The recipe for this is 4 edge stone bricks, make a border stone. How do I make edge stone bricks? This is stone bricks and cooked stone. 9 for 9, not too expensive. Stone bricks are made out of cooked stone in the first place. 1 for 1. And cooked stone is nothing more than cobblestone cooked. So the truth is, every single one of these blocks is nothing more than cobblestone that has had a little bit of effort put into it to make it look pretty. And I think it does look quite pretty. There's one more block that I would be remiss if I didn't show you, and it's probably the most expensive one in here. It's this brownstone road. So, let's check out Brownstone Road. So, what's the recipe for Brownstone Road? I take rough brownstone and I chisel it. Now, the chisel is a tool that you can make from Tinker's Construct. Just like all the other tools that I made, I attached it to a little bit of redstone flux that I never had to make another one. That's kind of nice. But how do I make the brownstone? Well, there are 3 ways to go about it. Unfortunately, I didn't realize how cheap the first alternative was before going a long way with the second alternative. 81 rough brownstone comes from 1 double compressed gravel, which is really nothing more than a method for fitting 81 gravel into a single block, and 81 ingots of electrum. That's right, folks. When I made it, every single one of these squares here was effectively made out of 1 square of electrum. And electrum is half gold and half silver. So I used up a lot of gold ingots. Before, and this I'm kicking myself for, before realizing that there's a recipe here that makes it that uses almost no tin. Now, you have to automate the process. You have to feed a hopper into the side of your smelting table. Your crucible. But that would have been so much cheaper. I had much more tin, especially because it only uses 1 tin nugget, which there's 9 of per ingot. So I would have gotten 9 of these blocks per ingot of tin I put in it, instead of 1 for each gold or silver ingot I put in. Needless to say, I've been kicking myself a little bit for my stupidity in that process. Finally, you might as well take out the recipe for large glowstone bricks. Glowstone bricks are made by placing some glowstone around any of the various stones, and you get 8 of them. So it's, in comparison with the glowstone glass out here, it's an extraordinarily cheap recipe. Now, I think I'm going to go move my bed, and once I've moved my bed over into my new home and slept for the first time, I'm going to call this episode a wrap. And then I will go through the slideshow separately in this video for you, but for me it's a separate activity, and walk you through my construction stages and the steps of the process that I went through to build this structure. For a benchmark, for those who are interested in my process in the background, building this video took me about 6 game hours, maybe 8. I did go through 1 crash, which forced me to rebuild my pick and my sword, and my entrenching tool. I can't exactly remember its name right now. Which, because I had in my hands Manulin, which let me actually just show you that really quickly. Manulin is a Tinker's Construct ingot that is made, There it is. By mixing molten cobalt and molten ardite in the smeltery. Cobalt and ardite are two extraordinarily tough ores that are only found in the nether. They're usually only found in single block increments. But while I was collecting all the glowstone that was used for the construction of this base, I ran into a reasonable amount of cobalt and manual ardite, which I combined to make manual and used to make my tools. It is, by definition, the best tool construction material available in Tinker's Construct, but obviously it requires that you reach the point that you are deep in the nether and have done quite a lot of mining there before you can start making tools out of it. But I got there, and then I had the game crash in a way that deleted my character and all of its inventory, which was frustrating. But again, unfortunately, these are the sort of things that can happen when playing a video game. I managed to recover the world, and then went about rebuilding my character's inventory, and luckily at that point in time I only had a small inventory with my tools because I was out mining. So anyway, I have a new sword. It is very similar to the last one. It just has slightly better characteristics. And the same can be said of my pickaxe. It is slightly faster than my last one, though not considerably, and slightly better in several ways. Now, I'm savoring this last moment, and here we are. An opportunity to sleep for the first time in my brand new house. Thank you, folks. I've enjoyed this. I'm pretty sure that my next episode I'm going to be having cleared out the basement down below this house, and I'm going to be started in the process of building some powered tools, building some storage devices, and transferring all of my stuff from my old cave over here to my new house. So catch up with me then. Thanks. Talk to you later. Hello, folks. So here is the field. After I had cleared out the ground, set up the steps, and put in the glowstone. This was sort of my proving out that the house would fit in its location. You can see that there's a chunk of dirt in the center. That's where the elevator will go in the end. It's also, for a little hint to those who don't know these things, there are items in the world called nodes. They're put in by one of the magical mods, and I found one in the middle of this field, so I put a wooden dirt block on top of it so that I wouldn't destroy it. It'll be useful to me later. Also, amusingly enough, it turns out you can teleport down through them using the elevator, so that's great. Here's just another of that picture, and from an opposite corner. As you can see, I put cobblestone down as a base. It was relatively easy. I actually ran out of cobblestone in the middle of this process, but that's normal. Well, I guess this is an oblique angle. Here I had put down the glowstone glass on the corners. I'd put down my first layer of merged texture brick down across the bottom. I'd put in the glass in the middle, and if you'll note, I still haven't filled in all of the ground surface, the road that's inside of the house. That's because I keep running out of golden electrum. Different angle on the same picture. Here you go. Now I've added the fitted blocks above it. Still haven't finished the ground. You'll notice there's a little bit more filled in on the ground, and then I cleared out the locations for the wall, and put in locations where the doorways are going to be in the future. And I've put in the glowstone glass, but you'll note it's floating. That's because I hadn't yet produced any of the sandy brick that was necessary to make the stairs that fit in there. Here you go. I've created some of the sandy brick. I've straightened out some of the glass issues that I was having, filled in a little bit more glass. This is the sandy brick from the inside as I'm creating it, and a different corner. Now I've got all of the sandy brick stairs in place for level 1, and I'm beginning to build the interior sandy brick walls. Also, I'm starting a layer of glowstone glass along the inside perimeter. That's because I hadn't realized some of the lighting issues that it would have. Also, note, I now have down doors. Again, a little bit closer, and another angle off from the side. A close-up on one of my shrouded, muffled obsidian pressure plates. Now again, these are the pressure plates that make no sound, only activate for players. They do not activate for monsters or items, which some pressure plates do, and are nearly invisible so they don't mess up the pretty color of my house. And a location here, a double door, and from the inside. You'll note that they do produce a little bit of a color, but it's hardly visible. And there is the interior wall partially built, and the inner courtyard. Here I have completed the entire interior wall, and there's a couple of views of what that looks like built, and what the rooms look like from the inside. And here we are. I have completely completed the primary build. The upper level floor is in place. The upside down and regular size stairs inside are placed. Here's the house from further away, from the original angle that I keep taking pictures from, and after I've put up the markers. I hope you guys like this video, and I will see you